Consider the following scenario. Humans are trapped in a number of cars in a dangerous region, but it is unknown where they are located and which vehicles have survivors. An aerial robot, or UAV, can rapidly survey the area, but cannot determine from high altitude which cars contain people, and therefore ground robots, or UGVs, are needed as well to investigate in more detail. Here, a high-altitude aerial robot builds an overhead semantic orthomap. We use visual odometry to track the robot's position over time with GPS drift correction. The light blue cars are visible in the map, and clusters of cars are used as goal regions. Once the UAV comes into communication with the UGVs, the map is transmitted to them, and they use this map to localize themselves with no GPS. The UGVs then detect regions with cars with possible survivors and drive to the closest, using the aerial map as a guide for planning. The first ground robot's goals are shown as green cubes, and the second robot's goals as red cubes. Once the first UGV reaches the goal, it selects a new one that has not yet been claimed by the other robot. UGVs communicate with each other, as well as the UAV, and share the current area they are traveling to in order to avoid redundant plans. We now see the perspective of the second UGV. It can tell that the first robot has claimed the closest goal region, so instead it navigates to another. All of this communication is performed on top of a Wi-Fi-based decentralized mesh network in a distributed database, where robots opportunistically synchronize their best understanding of the team state with other robots. Meanwhile, the UAV continues to explore and build a map, while receiving data from the UGVs that it can carry to other robots or to the base station. Once the UAV is back in communication with the ground robot, it sends updated maps, which have new goals, and the UGV selects one and plans accordingly. All of this happens completely autonomously. The base station acts as simply another node in the mesh network, but visualizes its best understanding of the system state for the human operator. The ground robots also use their LiDAR to build obstacle maps as they explore, and they use these maps for local obstacle avoidance, such as we see here with the robot avoiding the poles. Now again, the UAV returns and sends the UGV a new map, which also includes updates about the other robot's statuses. A similar process ensues. Our system provides mechanisms for localizing heterogeneous robot teams in a common reference frame in real time without GPS. It also provides the means for the robots to communicate with one another and an operator, as well as for ground robots to plan globally using the aerial contextual information, all using 2D semantic maps as the underlying representation. Here we see the visualization provided to the operator on the base station, as it updates in real time due to the robots being nearby and in communication with it. We perform this experiment 4 times, and successfully visit 22 of the identified 26 goals identified across all of the runs. The system operates entirely autonomously, with only occasional interventions, such as one here due to a curb not seen by the local planner. We additionally perform a different task in a different environment, in this case with the goal of object detection and localization while executing waypoint trajectories defined in GPS coordinates, though without GPS, instead localizing in a semantically labeled map. This demonstrates that our framework is able to support a variety of different high-level tasks. We finally perform many experiments in simulation, such as the one shown here. In this experiment, 10 UGVs collaborate using our system to visit a number of different targets, all using a map constructed by a single UAV. We simulate limited communication ranges, so notice that the UGVs do not select goals until they have received maps. Once they do, they can be clearly seen collaborating in deconflicting objectives. We believe that this work is an important step towards large heterogeneous robot teams operating in the real world, as well as a strong support for the use of semantics in such systems for localization, as well as planning for collaboration.